Howdy doody, my friends. It has been quite a while since I filmed last, in fact. It's actually only been a week, but in terms of filming a video that is regular for me, it's been probably 3 to 4 weeks. I've been on kind of a holiday period of just not filming, so I've just hit the sweet spot at the middle of jam where I'm realizing I have 3 videos left that I need to start filming again. But per my channel update at the end of last year, I noted how I had kind of run out of creative juice. I'm like, I got nothing really okay to film about, so yeah. So I've been kind of planning out what videos I want to be making this year. A lot of actor reviews. That's pretty much it that I've been thinking of. However, I still want to talk about things that I have in my collection, so I will be doing another box set collection, hopefully sooner rather than later, but I gotta determine what the hell incites a box set nowadays, given how much stuff I have. So, firstly, I want to talk about a more random thing. So, of course, we all like our limited edition sets. We've got our Manta Labs, we've got our my trip to the moon set, stuff that's limited to only a few hundred or thousand sets, whatever. There's Everything Blue does the same deal. I've pre-ordered that Shaun of the Dead set, limited to 850 units. There's a lot of things that are like that are crazy big, crazy important, have so much stuff to them. They give you posters, they give you little art cards, character cards, booklets of either images or actual essays. Depends on if this is like a high caliber thing or if it's more of a Criterion-esque thing, or even, dare I say, actually more accurately, something like Arrow Video with their Tremors set, something that's limited edition to this point that it's literally limited, but without being numbered, but you get a booklet and stuff, you get people talking about the film, you got all these art cards, the posters. That's a really nice looking set, by the way, I do have it. And there's just stuff like that that's really cool, it's because most limited edition sets, again, like the Manta Labs and Film Arena, all those big brand stuff, well, not even big brand, more boutique label stuff that's more boutique in the design of the set rather than the contents of the actual disc and the special features. Something less Arrow Video and Criterion and more, again, Film Arena and Manta Lab, have a lot more stuff in their set. So it's limited because they only want to make a certain amount of resources of this, usually between 500 to 2,000 units. So then there's this. This is a 3-pack film set that I got at JB Hi-Fi maybe 3 years ago, because I was getting money. I'm like, hey, look, I can finally start making my film collection, and so I bought this. This is the 2-pack set of The Blob. Now I know what you're thinking, Julian, or Teller, because you probably don't know my name. Why are you showing us this? Why is this important? And it's clearly not important. It's more the fact that this is something I find ever so unique, because for the first time yesterday I watched the 1988 version. I had seen the 1958 version about 2 years ago. And I actually, when I watched that from this disc, because it's got 2 discs, it actually is the Criterion version, just on a regular Umbrella Blu-ray, which is fair enough. Umbrella is a label in Australia that will, produce films. Most of them I've noticed have been, they've just, sourced, or what do you call it when they hire a source of a film to be able to produce in Australia for a certain maybe amount of years or for a certain amount of units, hence the limited edition nature or whatever. So they've got a lot of stuff like that, and Umbrella's a pretty well-known company in Australia. It's pretty classic stuff. It's stuff you'd think of more B-movie stuff or cheaper stuff, or cult classic kind of deals. And so, of course, having great poster art on the front cover to begin with, outside of the rated M rating, and on the inside, you have your 2 discs that has 2 separate styles of art. That's the 1988 version on disc 1, and disc 2 has the 1958 version. 58 or 50? 58, yeah, geez, it really was 30 years apart. And you can even see inside it does have reversible artwork, one being the poster for the 1958 one, indicating also that it has Son of the Blob, aka Beware the Blob, which is a 1977 film, which is a sequel to The Blob, that most people, if you have watched it, probably despise it. But this does have an alternate cover artwork, which is just identical to the front, except it doesn't have the rated M logo. So that's pretty cool if you like to collect Umbrella Blu-rays from Australia. Now, since I bought this, I've seen it again and again and again in stores, but never the 2-pack set, only the 1988 version, probably because the Criterion source was only limited to a certain amount of releases that that Umbrella was able to produce. And I note this mostly because on the back cover here, you'll notice some details, outside of it obviously saying Son of the Blob in standard definition, because nobody fucking likes that movie. At the very bottom there, you might see that it says limited edition, number 1265 of 2300. And again, this is just a standard case. Realistically, the only limited edition nature of it is just the artwork that's been printed on it and having the second disc. And I know, again, it's not a fanciful, it's not a big steelbook with a lenticular and all these posters and stuff. It's just a regular case, regular plastic, with a, reversible sleeve and 2 discs. But it's just something that seems so bizarre to have a limited edition. Again, just from naturally talking about this, I've been able to understand. I think it's a pretty logical resolution to think that the reason why it is a limited edition is because this second disc was so smallly produced. Actually, it says Son of the Blob was a 1972 film. It still says Son of the Blob here. It must have been what it was referred to in Australia, because online on Letterboxd it's Beware the Blob. But like, beware, ! The Blob. And it, classifies all 3 being on here. And even the special features for the disc 2, there aren't many outside of having Son of the Blob. It has 2 audio commentaries, one with the producer and one with the director. So, obviously, even though it actually is like you play the disc, it has the whole Criterion opening. Like, it's clearly the Criterion, their remaster of the film, but without all the special features. I don't know what the bit rate difference is and all that technical stuff. But it's just kind of cool that that's the thing. And look, it's just something I just find fun in my collection. Like, you probably won't care. Maybe this will actually be a collector's item, and you might, if you're interested in the Blob, or just classic sci-fi films, or classic 1950s films, or yada yada yada, then that's something you might want to get. I've got a set. Conveniently, it's right here. This is the Fly set. Comes with all 5 movies: The Fly, The Return of the Fly, Curse of the Fly with Jeff Goldblum, and The Fly 2. It also has a bunch of special features, mostly audio commentaries, some documentaries, featurettes, and whatever, which are mostly and only on the original Fly, the remake, and the remake sequel. And again, it's got a lot of details on it. It's got a nice set with nice artwork on the front. But you might notice, and this isn't exactly for the limited edition nature, this is more of the Heidi-ho there, neighborino. Have you ever noticed how there are so many Fly films? There is not much in terms of artwork. In fact, there is literally no artwork on any of them. There is a reversible sleeve, except I think the reversible sleeve is just The Fly by Emma J. Westwood. It's just an ad. It's an ad for a fucking book. And then, of course, your production details and whatnot. So, this isn't exactly what I'm saying is, like, oh, look at this limited edition. No. See, Scream Factory released a version of The Fly, a whole set. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'd like to get it. I already had this. I got this for maybe $30-40 at JB. And, of course, this Shout Factory one, Scream Factory one, was 5 whole cases. And I'm like, wow, gee, thank God I got this instead. Mostly because I wanted to save on room. And to be fair, the only one really worth watching is the remake of The Fly, the Cronenberg version. The original's great, it's a classic. The sequel to it is very boring. I haven't watched the 3rd one, but I have also watched the sequel to The Fly, which is very, It's kind of tame. I don't know. I watched it with my brother. It was pretty. It was pretty. It was fine. But yeah, it's just like I don't really know why I'm talking about this. I think it was more of the factor of like that whole factor of you've got two different films and you could get them in two different sets. Like I could still get the Criterion of the Blob. I could get the Shout Factory version of this. And that would evolve into its own thing of like, oh hey, I'm getting like this big 5-disc set with 5 different cases with artwork for each disc, which look is great. I do like when you can get that. That is pretty cool. Sometimes it's convenient to just get a trilogy set because you don't care about the artwork and whatever, and it either combines the artwork in the laziest way possible with the slash 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 on the front cover and the same on the back. Say with like the Cornetto trilogy when they released that on Blu-ray as the trilogy. They just had like, I think the top of it was World's End, and then it had Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. I'm like, why can't they do it in the other order? But it's because the priority is the top, and the top is the new one. That's the thing that they do. This one doesn't do that, which I like. It's just got a simple artwork that is very iconic from the remake, and it just goes from there. In the end, I don't know. It's just, I don't really know why I talked about that fly set. I thought it was just kind of interesting how I could get something like that at JB. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. I got that at JB. You go looking for it now, you can't find it, but you can find the remake set, which just comes with, I believe, just the remake. It might come with the sequel. But again, I go looking for this, I only find the 1980s version, because again, this was so limited. I didn't pick it up and think, oh, limited edition, I should buy this. I picked it up and was like, damn, this looks cool. But it also comes with the original, and it comes with the remake. I should get that, because that would be cool, and it's got some great artwork, and the Blob has always been a cheesy kind of villain that I've always been interested in watching, and of course the original is cheesy as hell, but the sequel is breathtaking. It is an amazing film. It's a bit weaker in its third act, but for the rest of it, it is terrifying. Like, it is terrifying, how this Blob is. So and that's something I haven't felt in a while. I've been genuinely scared and grotesquely grossed out by a film. So props to that. So yes, I did just watch the 88 version last night, and it was spectacular. And again, that's what I noticed, the whole limited edition factor. So, look, overall, I'd suggest watching these films. Do you want to review briefly? I think the first one is pretty classic. It's okay. Again, it's fun for its idea. It's just a gimmicky little 50s, sci-fi movie. It's fine. Not much to write home about, but it's got a fun idea and a fun villain. And some iconic scenes, of course, Steve McQueen as well. And the 88 version, I think, is a spectacular remake. It even has Jack Nance. It's got a whole bunch of great actors, character actors in it. Frank Darabont co-wrote it. Chuck Russell directed it and co-wrote it. He also had done, like, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, so it's great horror stuff. But yes, and great practical effects as well. So, yeah, look, if you can find this set, I mean, it might be easy to find, I don't really know, I haven't checked, but it's just a fun little thing I have. If you have the Criterion of the 1958 version, then I'd suggest looking out for the 1988 version, because it's worth getting, even though it's not on Criterion, it's worth getting. Though I wonder if the Criterion version has Son of the Blob in its set, like this one does. I guess I'll never know. No, I'm kidding. Alright, thank you so much for watching. This has been another video for Tether Creations. If you've enjoyed it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Adios. Look, I'm sitting down again. Lazy times.